So we are like what? A couple of days into New Year, and I bet your #1 resolution is to make more music, get more placements, and 10 cents from million streams on Spotify. But the truth is that nothing really changed. You still struggle to get your ideas out or even to come up with ideas. But no worries, those 3 minutes I'm about to show you in this video will leave you with no excuse to not make new music this year, no matter the genre you make or plugins and samples you use. One of those is a little bit controversial, but I will let you be the judge after watching this video from start to finish. So the first one will get you out from the deepest uninspiring periods, and it's also the easiest one. I don't care if you're gonna use Splice, AI splitters or YouTube for that. All you really need to do is to find a vocal or a cappella you like. I happen to have one here which I got from Freepack from vocal.com, so let's just drag it into the session and match it to tempo. This one is 80, so let's just double it and make it 160.
Quick maths.
Disillusion. Yeah, you've done what you can.
What I like to do first is to add a bass line, since that's the easiest part to match to the melody from the vocal.
Disillusion. Yeah, you've done what you can, but it's out of your hands. Yeah, it's out of your hands.
Simple, yet I like it. My next go-to step is adding chords, and despite what people say, you don't really need a university degree to make those. What I like to do to make them faster is to copy the bass track into my instrument of choice, which is this key. To make chords, highlight all the bass notes and then copy them 7 semitones up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Congrats, you can count to 7. What about 10? Next, you just need to fill the gap with either 3rd or 4th note from the root note, and then voila, you just got chords.
Disillusion. Yeah, you've done what you can.
If it sounds a little too basic, then move the middle note an octave up, and then you can fill the gaps in between those chords to make inversions.
Disillusion. Yeah, you've done what you can, but it's out of your hands. Yeah, it's out of your hands.
I feel like this method needs a dedicated video, so let me know down in the comments if you want to see one. If that doesn't inspire you enough, you can also try making ARP from chord notes. In Ableton Live 12, it's really simple, since all you need to do is to just copy those chords into the ARP, highlight all the notes, go to Generative Tool, and then choose obviously Appreciate. And now we can play with those parameters. I think I will go with 1/4 is okay, so let's just move them. So that's just a simple idea, but let me show you another project of mine where I used this technique to make something closer to the full track. And now we just wait and hope that it won't crash. And there we go, so here is the acapella I started with.
Hold on, just wait a minute. I'm on a mission, baby. We could take a rocket to Mars.
Then I added a bass.
Hold on, just wait a minute. I'm on a mission, baby. We could take a rocket to Mars.
Simple arpeggio.
Hold on, just wait a minute. I'm on a mission, baby. We could take a rocket to Mars.
And that one led me into getting inspired to make a drop from it.
Turn up with me. Travel at the speed of light. Hold on. Hold on. Travel at the speed of light.
Okay, so the second method requires a bit more creativity, but it's also really simple. And I like to call it the rhythm method. I'm pretty sure you have at least 10 plugins which have atmosphere or sequence preset folder. If you don't, there is a free plugin by Venus Theory and UVI called Noctua, and that also happened to be my idea starter. So while I was browsing through some presets, I found this sequence, which happened to be right here, I believe. Yeah. And that instantly got me synthwave vibes. Basically, all I've done is just removed the low end part from it, since I want to write my own bass line, and that's where the rhythm part comes into play. Instead of coming up with melody, try to play a rhythm with a root note. As the rhythm is done, now you can play with notes in scale, and maybe we just make it simple like so. Yeah. The same rhythm method goes for other instruments and lead lines. If you need a melody, try starting with a 5th note in scale to create harmonic. And then you can play a rhythm with only this 5th note or a couple of different notes in between to catch the vibe. And then once again you can play with notes placement to come up with a full melody. And that's a second idea in like 10 minutes. The final tip is the most effective yet the most controversial in some producers' minds. It's all about getting inspired by stealing from other producers. At least that's what those sweaty Reddit commenters would describe it. But let's just listen what real producers have to say about that.
Get in the studio and copy your favorite tunes all day.
That's how you learn.
Until you get close, yeah. Then start to seep in some of your own, like, what you might do instead. The first few songs of our career were just ripping off all of the UK underground. You know, we really were. We're just like, I want to make tunes that will get us onto Boiler Room.
Okay, so this is how I do it, and as we speak about copying, feel free to steal this idea from me. So basically I have a Spotify playlist in which I gather all the songs I like, which I think could be done differently or subjectively better. Then I get the audio file inside my session, which can also be used as a reference track for mixing later. Here's how the original sounds. And that's my own version in which I tried to copy some sound design techniques, arrangement, and so on. Full disclosure, what a coincidence. I don't feel like releasing the song because it's too similar, but since it made me turn a blank session into full arrangement with 2 drops, build-ups, verses, bridges, and so on, I can now turn all of those sounds into like my favorite ones, my go-to ones, since I spent some time sound designing. I can then use those in my future project, and it basically makes me make more projects faster and learn sound design and learn arrangement, as it was said in this video. And listen, no matter the background you came from and no matter what people have said you, at the end of the day, it's all about making music. Because as the good old rule says, 4 bars a day keeps the doctor away.